Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here with another Extravagant Few Minutes live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and, of course, on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza. And we are live on X, as always, at The Real Captain Lou. We invite you to follow us there. We also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Captain Lou Sports Network. You get all of our great programming live and archived, including these Extravagant Few Minutes episodes, the Extravaganza with yours truly, and of course, my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. Mitch will be driving the ship solo Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. He's got a great guest lined up. Just check out our Facebook page for that. And also, you can watch all of our episodes. The 10th season of the ACHA Power Play. We'll have another edition Tuesday night live as the road to St. Louis kicks into high gear coming up now. The sprint portion of our schedule. We're a little over 2 months away from the 2026 National Championships down in St. Louis. So we'll get you all squared away with that throughout the January and February months. But in order to do that, to get all of our episodes live and archived, again, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Captain Lou Sports Network. And as always, all of our programming here on the network is brought to you by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It's that simple. And if there's a game you want to go to, Week 18 wrapping up today and tonight in the NFL. If you're in those markets, if you're in Chicago, you want to watch the Lions and the Bears, go to SeatGeek. Use that promo code. If you're going to be in Pittsburgh tonight for the big matchup between the Ravens and the Steelers, and you haven't gotten tickets yet, I suggest you go there now and get those tickets. And again, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. College football semifinals in the playoffs starting Thursday night. All of that. Get your tickets nowhere else but SeatGeek. And again, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. All right, here we go. Week 18 of the NFL season is officially here. We had two big games last night. We'll talk about those in a moment. The big game for all of us. Yes, I've got my Lions jersey on. The Lions are a 3-point dog going into Chicago. That's it, against the Bears. The Bears have a lot to play for in this game. They can't get the number 1 seed. I understand that, but they can have a shot at the number 2 seed. And they've got a little bit of an ass whooping in the back of their minds that the Lions gave them earlier this year, 52-21 in Detroit. So if you're Ben Johnson, and if we know Ben Johnson well enough, we know he would love nothing better than to send the Lions out with a loss to go to 8-9. And again, they get a number 2 seed with the win. That means they would play Green Bay in the opening round of the playoffs next week. So I got a feeling the Bears are not going to hold anything back against the Lions. Penei Sewell's going to be out for the Lions. Alex Anzalone probably played his last game in a Detroit Lion uniform. He's not going to play today. So the Lions are very banged up on the offensive line and on the defensive side. Nothing to play for. A loss for the Lions would get them a 4th place schedule next year, as they would finish in last place. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year? But I'm going, as much as I love the Lions, my heart says Detroit, but my head and my wallet is saying Chicago in this one. Only a 3-point dog are the Lions. Man, it seems like an awful low point spread. All right, let's get to the games from yesterday. Tampa Bay with a slosh fest win over Carolina, 16-14 last night. They are right now tied with the Carolina Panthers for first place in the NFC South. They now need Atlanta to win to get into the playoffs as the division champs and host an opening round game in the playoffs. More than likely either the Rams or, well, it will be either the Rams or the 49ers. So if you're a Tampa Bay fan, now you are a New Orleans Saints fan today. You're rooting for Tyler Shutt and the Saints to beat the Atlanta Falcons. And if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, you are indeed an Atlanta Falcons fan. You want them to beat the Saints at home. I think the point spread right now is 3.5 with the Atlanta Falcons favored. So who's going to play the spoiler? Who's going to win that all of a sudden big matchup in the NFC South between the Falcons and the Saints? Neither team has anything to play for except for pride. So again, how it works, Tampa needs the Saints to win, Tampa needs Atlanta to win to get that division championship in a first-round matchup either against the Rams or the 49ers. Carolina, they need the Saints to win in order for them to go to the playoffs. Maybe a tall order. Who knows? New Orleans is playing pretty good right now. They've played some inspired football. They're playing with some confidence. That's a 3.5 point spread in that one right now on most of the services. So we'll keep an eye on that one. We talked about the Seahawks. They won a defensive gem yesterday. I honestly thought there'd be a lot more points scored in that one. If I'd have known the weather was the way it was in Tampa, I wouldn't have took the over in that one. But the Seahawks won a defensive gem yesterday in San Francisco, 13-3 over the San Francisco 49ers. And yes, finally, Sam Darnold won a big game when he needed one in the play to get some type of playoff scenario for them. They're now the number 1 seed and the division champs in the NFC West. So congratulations to the Seahawks. All the playoffs run through Seattle now to get to the Super Bowl. San Francisco, now they're going to have to wait and see what happens with the Rams, as they need the Rams to lose. The Rams will get the 5 seed with a win against Arizona. The Rams are a 13.5 point favorite in that one against Arizona this afternoon. And if you listen to Sean McVay after that loss they had last week, he said he's not resting anybody. So there's a lot at stake here. The Rams, I guarantee you, would rather go to either Carolina or to Tampa instead of going to either Chicago or Philadelphia in the cold for that opening round matchup in the playoffs. So I think LA is going to put boots to asses against Arizona in this game this afternoon, as they want that number 5 seed. San Francisco, with the loss, could fall all the way to the 6th seed and have to travel to either Chicago or Philadelphia, more than likely Philadelphia, for the opening round matchup. And that would leave, as we mentioned, Chicago with a date with Green Bay next week and Wild Card Weekend. How cool would that be? An opening round matchup with Chicago and their nemesis in the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers. That should be a lot of fun. All right, in the AFC, it's pretty simple. Denver with a win against a team that's resting a bunch of their starters, the LA Chargers. They get the number 1 overall seed and the opening round bye in the AFC with that win. Pretty self-explanatory. For the Patriots, they need a win today, and they need a Denver loss against the Chargers to claim the number 1 seed in the AFC. More than likely, they're going to get the number 2 seed. And some crazy scenarios. First, in the AFC South, the Jaguars, they've got a very minute chance. You say there's a chance. I don't think it's going to happen, but a win for them today, they will clinch the AFC South, which I think they'll get over the Titans. But should Denver somehow lose to a LA Chargers team that's not starting a lot of their starters, and the Patriots, should they lose, then the Jags would get the number 1 overall seed. More than likely, though, you're going to see the Jaguars as the 3 seed with the win. But should they lose today to the Titans and the Texans win, then the Texans win the division, and they get the opening round playoff matchup at home against probably the 6th seed. Speaking of that, Buffalo, right now, if all 3 teams were to win, Houston and the Chargers and Buffalo would be a 7 seed with a 12-5 record. Now, I don't think it's going to happen because I don't see the Chargers beating the Denver Broncos. So the more likely scenario is going to be Buffalo is going to end up with the 6th seed, and they're going to take on the 3 seed, which will be Jacksonville, in Jacksonville next weekend. And you're probably going to see the Patriots taking on the Chargers for the 2 versus 7 matchup. And that's going to lead the winner of tonight's winner-take-all matchup between the Ravens and the Steelers for the right to host an opening round playoff game against more than likely either Houston or Jacksonville in that opening round. Baltimore comes into the game going to Pittsburgh as a 3.5 point favorite in Pittsburgh. 8:20 will be the kickoff on NBC tonight. Wow. Aaron Rodgers, this could be his last game of his career. Is he going to go out with a bang or a whimper? Remember the last time this scenario was thought of as taking place in a win-or-go-home scenario in Green Bay? Kirby Joseph picked him off at the last point to give the Lions the win and play spoilers against the Packers. This could be Aaron Rodgers' swan song. Does Baltimore have enough left in the tank to beat Pittsburgh tonight? as much as my heart says Baltimore, it's so hard to pick against Pittsburgh at home for a playoff scenario on the line, for a playoff bid on the line. Man, it's literally a coin flip, a 3.5-point spread right now. Again, the over-under on that one is 41. I'm not touching that game as a bettor, not at all. I'm staying away from that. So with all this going on, with the NFL Week 18 wrapping up, Week 18 will be in the books as of about 11:30 tonight. Who is going to be the first NFL coach that gets fired or that may retire? All signs are probably pointing towards the Raiders and Pete Carroll. Boy, I think this is going to be a one and done for Pete. It's been an absolute disaster in Las Vegas. All signs are pointing to him getting either let go or forced out or retiring. Tom Brady's going to be in the mix. What about the Cleveland Browns with Kevin Stefanski? That's been a mess there. It looks like Shedeur Sanders is going to be the quarterback going into next year. Who knows? But you've got that scenario. There's so many other ones. We've already got the Giants and the Titans looking for head coaches. Their coaches have been let go already. But who else in the NFL might be looking for a job? There's probably going to be a couple of more teams looking for an opportunity to get a new head coach. Just kind of looking through maybe the Arizona Cardinals, the Atlanta Falcons. I think Raheem Morris is going to be on the hot seat. Who knows with Tampa? Could Todd Bowles be on the hot seat should they lose? It sounds like his job is safe because of all the injuries that they had, but who knows? It sounds like Zach Taylor's safe in Cincinnati, but he could be let go. Aaron Glenn, I don't think Aaron Glenn's going to get fired, but he could. His name's been thrown around. I think he's safe, but I think the best bet, who knows? Sean McDermott, if they lose in the opening round of the playoffs, he could be replaced. He'll be snatched up in a New York minute. I guarantee you if he's let go, he'll be a head coach again before the season starts next year. So those are the names to watch out for as far as the coaching carousel. Black Monday is coming up tomorrow. Should be very interesting in the NFL. All right, quickly, let's take a quick look at the NHL last night. The Red Wings in the matinee game in Detroit lost another tough one. Well, I'll tell you, the Penguins seem to have their number right now. Hard to believe that Sidney Crosby is in his 21st year with the Penguins. He looked pretty good. He's got another point. He's averaging a point a game still. And he still looks pretty strong. The Red Wings now, with the loss, are in second place to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning have won 7 straight, and they've still got 2 games in hand on the Red Wings. They got a point lead there. So, yeah, the Red Wings with a loss, they'll get back in action here on Monday, I believe, as they look to try to get back to the winning ways. The Canadiens lost, so they still have 2 games in hand on Detroit as well, and they're 2 points behind. The Buffalo Sabres, they've got 3 games in hand on the Red Wings, and they're 6 points behind there as well. And just, again, what I like to do is keep an eye. The division I'm keeping an eye on right now is the Central Division in the Western Conference, the Colorado Avalanche. Shout out to you, Dave Kurtz, their number 1 fan that I know of. 31-2-7. They've won 10 straight. They've got 69 points in 40 games. They're on a pace right now to just obliterate every scoring record, every standings record in the NHL. I know it's going to be tough to keep up that torrid pace, but they've got 69 points to the Avalanche. The Minnesota Wild, they've got 58 points, and the Dallas Stars are at 57. They've lost 4 straight, but as I keep saying, the Dallas Stars being in 3rd place in their division, they would still be leading any other division in the NHL. And the Detroit Pistons are back in action this afternoon as they take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Detroit still with a 2-game lead in the Eastern Conference over the New York Knicks. All right, that's going to do it here for another extravagant few minutes here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Enjoy the games. Enjoy Week 18, the playoff clinching scenarios. If you missed any of them, this will be archived. So, again, it's a busy day. Most of the games in the early window are duds. Some of the games later on have a little bit of significance. Then, of course, the big one tonight, the Ravens and the Steelers for all the marbles in the NFC or in the AFC North. And again, if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, or I'm sorry, if you are a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, you're now an Atlanta Falcons fan, as you need them to win to clinch the North or clinch the South. If you're a Carolina Panthers fan, you need the Saints to win to clinch that division as well. All right. Enjoy, everybody. Thanks for welcoming us into your homes, on your computers, on your laptops, however you watched us around the world here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Until next time, Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. So long.